What is this? Okay, that's actually true. Where the fuck do they actually find, like, how do they even set this shit up? Yeah, that's actually true though. How do you even, like, set that up? Like, cause they gotta take that down later, no? How do you even no, I gotta look at this up now. Wait, hold up. You just sparked my curiosity.
Skylines, hoisting materials and machinery to some of the highest construction sites on Earth. They have become a part of everyday life in almost every major city.
Yo, I never really even thought of that, dude. Yo, chat, have you guys ever, like, seen one of those and be like, yo, chat, wait, did you guys see that one dude who was, like, climbing this shit? Oh my god. Bro, that was crazy. Have you guys seen those videos? Like, professional climbers will be climbing cranes. And that's, like, the craziest thing ever. I just go into your stream. That's great.
The vast majority
I need
are
to see
using
this.
mobile cranes that are larger in size, but obviously the
Oh! Dude, I'm actually stupid. Why did I think of that? Wait, that actually makes so much sense. Wait, bro, this is like actually kind of like, yo, I actually feel stupid now. Wait, that just makes complete sense. Cause yeah, these are a thing, but I never really thought of like the big ones, you know what I mean? Like, how do you make those? But you know, it literally is just
can't always be
craneception.
done when you are building a record-breaking structure, and taller cranes simply don't exist. Some construction sites in dense urban areas may not have enough space for a large mobile crane either, and many projects also require tower cranes to be erected in stages.
Okay, so then how are the big ones made then? Cause like, okay. So we know like the smaller ones are made with those like little mobile cranes, right? But how do they make these then?
They rise in unison with the constructed portion of the building. In these scenarios, the cranes must raise themselves to the final working height all on their own using a method
What?
known as climbing, and that is what we will be looking at in today's video.
Wait, so people will actually build up the cranes themselves? Bro, what? Yo, that's insane. What the fuck? Wait, okay, but what does it mean? Like, is there a max height to the crane?
They got there in the first place. The
Hold on.
are erected using mobile cranes that are larger in
Okay,
size,
yeah, I
but
know
obviously
this.
can't always be
Okay,
done. Construction sites also require the building. In these scenarios, the cranes must
Because
raise
it builds
themselves.
itself. Oh my god, wait, that's actually genius. Wait, but how does that work though? Wait, what? Wait, okay. So when you're making a crane, or when you have a crane, right? Does that mean like all of it is just like stuffed into like the base of like the crane, and then like when you put it down, it'll like build itself up or something? Wait, that's
The
actually
final
like
working
genius.
height all on their
Who
own
thought
using
of
a
that?
method known as climbing.
Yeah, yo, cause chat, look at that. Like it goes upward, but it doesn't like. It's not like people are putting it on. It's like already there. So is there like a max limit?
That is what we will be looking at in today's video. In general
Yo,
terms,
that's crazy.
climbing a tower crane simply refers to the process of adding or removing sections of the mast in order to increase or decrease the
I'm sorry,
overall
a dude is doing that? Yo, imagine if you're a crane operator. This is you right now.
The concept
Look at this dude.
is fairly straightforward,
Yo, I'd freak the fuck out, bro.
but it is quite difficult to
Yo,
execute in the field.
hell
With catastrophic
no.
consequences if anything should go wrong.
Bro, imagine one false move, you're just dead.
It is one of the most
GG.
dangerous operations that can be performed with a
That's
tower crane,
terrifying.
and it is only carried out when absolutely necessary to complete a project. Before climbing can begin, a tower crane must first be erected to an initial height using a suitable mobile crane. The process
initial
begins by
height?
constructing a stable foundation, which usually consists of a large concrete slab reinforced with steel rebar,
Oh, he's
and
explaining
this takes place about a month before the crane goes vertical, so that the concrete has enough time to cure. Once the concrete has reached its full strength,
Shit,
the
sorry.
first steel truss section of the mast
I
is
just choked
lifted
on my
into
saliva for a
place,
sec.
and it is secured with anchor bolts that are embedded in the foundation.
Oh, so
Additional
that's so it
sections
doesn't
are then
topple
stacked
over.
on top of one another to complete the tower portion of the crane, and they are fastened together with high-strength steel bolts. The mast is topped off with a slewing unit, which is basically a turntable that allows the top of the crane to rotate, and this serves as a
Okay,
base
that
for the
makes sense. So
operator-
that's like the base. That's where the actual like place where you operate is, right?
cab and lifting components. The exact arrangement of the top assembly varies depending on the type of tower crane, but the one shown here has a hammerhead configuration with a cat
Hey, I'm not getting into the
that cannot be
specific
moved
ones,
up or down.
bro.
The cat head is the first component to be installed on top of the slewing unit, followed by the counter jib and working jib. And
Why
these
is it
are
called a
connected
cat
with
head?
steel tie
What?
rods that help to transfer loads to the mast. Once the top assembly is complete, a counterweight is then added to the counter jib, which normally consists of several concrete
Oh, yo, that's to like balance it out, right? So even if you're carrying heavy shit, it doesn't like topple over.
slabs. The counterweight helps to balance the load when the crane
That's
is
actually
performing
smart.
a lift, effectively reducing.
Yo, Chad, is it not crazy that humanity was able to make this shit? Like, bro, we was trying to figure out how to make fire like a couple of thousand years ago. Or, okay, maybe not 1,000. It's been a little longer than that. But, dude, this is so insane, though. Like, whoever invented this had to be like Einstein, bro. Like, holy shit.
A bending moment, or torque, that must be carried by the mast. Since the working jib is fixed on this particular crane, a trolley system must be used to adjust the radius of the hook so that the load can be positioned closer or further from the
So
mast.
look up term art.
This is not the
I'll look
case
it up
for
in a sec.
luffing jib tower cranes, however, as they can adjust the radius simply by raising or lowering the
Ah, okay. So fixed jib is like just a straight one, but the one like the slanted ones are like the one on the right, the luffing jib. Yo, I've never even heard of these terms, bro. The fuck does luffing even mean?
working jib. In either case, the ability to change the position of the load makes it possible to perfectly balance the crane on top of the mast, and this is essential for the climbing
Oh, and you can
process
see
to
the
be carried
counterweight on this one too. Counterweight's right here.
out safely. When a tower crane is ready to be climbed, a steel climbing frame is first assembled around the base of the tower, and it is lifted up to the underside of the slewing unit. The frame has a
Wait,
square
how
cross
is that
section
even-
with a lattice structure around 3 sides,
Wait,
but the
what?
front is left open so that new mast sections can pass through. The top is securely fastened to the underside of the slewing unit with high-strength steel bolts.
Wait, but
and
then
the
how
hydraulic jack at the bottom is
are they raising it, or like how does that work? Like, do they just like get a big ass ladder to work on it, and then they just like raise it whenever, or how does that work? Like, bro, does somebody need to be in there to like raise it?
positioned
how's
over
that-
a push point on the existing mast. A new mast section
I'm
is then
confused.
hoisted up to the frame, where it is either placed on a steel
Wait.
tray or suspended from a guide rail that extends out above the opening. At this point, the top of the crane must be perfectly balanced over the jack before it can be lifted, which is accomplished by placing a weight on the hook to offset the counterweights. An additional mast
Okay.
section is typically used for this, and it is positioned at a precise radius from the mast so that there is no net moment applied onto the climbing frame.
Okay, but how does it get bigger? Like y'all know what I'm talking about? Like earlier it showed how it was like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I want to know how they're doing
The
that.
crane top essentially behaves like
Also,
a
there's
large
like some
balance scale
mathematic
during the
equation I
climb,
can never
and
do.
it could topple off the
No,
mast.
hey, yo, I don't even know how to do that. I don't even know how to do that mathematic equation. That shit is like absurd. I don't even
If
know.
its center of gravity is not in line with the jack. In addition, the climbing frame is not designed to carry significant torsion, and it is extremely important that the crane is not slewed during the climbing process. The new mast sections are therefore arranged in a straight line on the ground to eliminate any need to rotate the crane, and the operator will usually leave the cabin during the climb, so that the crane cannot be slewed accidentally. Once the crane is confirmed
Wait,
to be
what?
in balance and all safety checks have cleared,
Wait, so they
hydraulic cylinder is
leave
then
the
pressurized to take
leave
the
the cabin, like they leave the control area over here? But then who's gonna be controlling it?
the
What?
crane top, and the slewing unit is unbolted from the top of the mast. The cylinder is used to lift the climbing frame along with the top of the
Oh, dude! That's how they do
crane
it!
until there is enough clearance to insert a new mast section, which usually requires several strokes depending on the cylinder's length.
Yo, dude, imagine you accidentally unscrew it too much and it just topples over to the right. Dude, you'd be cooked. Anyone below you would just be instantly dead. Bro, how...
The mast section can then be
Dude, I could never do construction, bro. Hey, I could never. Bro, it's like, not only is it like a lot of like labor, but it's also like, dude, you need to be so smart to be like a crane operator or something. Like, bro, if you're a crane operator, you might as well work at NASA, bro. Like, dude, the math is like around the same. You know what I mean? For you to be a rocket scientist and for you to be like a crane operator, I feel like it's similar math, except like obviously you're not like calculating the trajectory and shit of like the rocket or whatever. But still, like, this is insane. Like, how do you even like learn the math for this? Like, they actually be doing equations for this, bro.
Where it is bolted to the underside of the slewing
nah, that's
and the hydraulic
wild.
cylinder is depressurized, so that the bottom of the new section engages with the top of the existing mast. After the joints are securely fastened, the cylinder is retracted and repositioned on the next push point, and the whole cycle can repeat until the crane reaches the desired height.
Wow. Is that it? Oh, I was gonna say. Yo, Chad, that's actually so cool. What? That's actually so interesting. Like, I don't even know how they do that. Like, how do you even make something like this? You know what I mean?
Once the process is complete, the climbing frame will either be lowered down the mast or removed entirely
for sure.
until it is needed to raise the crane higher or to bring it back down at the end of construction. Now, up to this point, we have only talked about tower cranes that climb externally on the outside of a building. However, they can also climb internally on the inside of a building. In this scenario, the weight of the crane is carried by the constructed
hold on,
which can increase the lift.
Wait, everyone, shot, lock in. They can build up from the inside.
The weight of the crane is carried by the constructed portion of the building, which can increase the lifting capacity and reduce costs by eliminating the need for a tall mast. The process begins in the same way as before by erecting a crane on top of a concrete foundation, but the tower must now include a climbing section at the bottom that will be used to lift the crane later on. As the building is constructed around the mast, two steel collars are installed approximately 3 stories apart, which connect the crane to the building's structural system. Climbing rails extend between the collars down the inside.
I mean, like, if you're making it inside, is it easier though? Like, chat, do y'all think it'd be easier to make a crane inside or like outside? I feel like outside might be easier because like you're able to do that, like the tech with the crane outside, but you can't do it inside, right? So like when it's inside, do you have to like put it all together first before you use it?
And these provide support for a hydraulic jack that is positioned inside the mast climbing section.
Holy
When
bro.
the crane is ready to climb, the tower is unbolted.
This is way more complicated.
And the hydraulic cylinder is pressurized to take its weight. The cylinder is then used to lift the crane upwards until the bottom of the mast reaches the first collar, while a ratcheting system ensures that the crane cannot fall back down the shaft. As additional floors are added to the building, a third collar is installed 3 stories above the first 2, and the crane can then be lifted from the bottom collar to the middle one.
Wait, no. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. What? Bro, how is it doing that?
At this
point, is it just able to do that on its own, or are people lifting it? Bro, what?
The bottom collar is no longer needed, so it is removed and relocated another 3 stories above.
Oh my god, that's so smart. Wait, that's like Dark Souls where they be reusing assets. Hold up now, it's like Blighttown. Oh my goodness, wait.
Higher. When construction is finally complete, the tower crane will either be disassembled using a larger mobile crane, or a smaller crane will be hoisted to the top of the building that can be dismantled.
Alternatively, a helicopter may also be used to remove a tower crane if no other options are available. Wow, so they just like actually get like full-on helicopters to be just like taking these things out. What? Dude, that's crazy. Yo, do you think they got like them Apache helicopters, or do you think they just like get like normal commercial ones? Like what would they be getting for this? Surely like the Apache ones, like the big ass ones, right?
And once the tower crane is removed. Tower cranes play an essential role in countless construction projects all around the world.
Nah, this is actually so
climb
cool.
upwards entirely on their own means there is virtually no limit to how high we can build. These awesome machines always get the job done safely and efficiently, just like the sponsor for today's video.
Okay, no, get the fuck out of here. Yo, hey. Get NordVPN out the fuck out of here. Hey, bro! W video, though! W video. Art of Engineering. Really cool vid. Wow. That was actually very interesting.